So it is Easter Sunday, of course. Jesus Christ is risen. If you're a Christian, this is the big day. 3 days ago, Jesus Christ was crucified, killed, murdered, right? Buried in a tomb. 3 days later, risen to heaven. So this is the big one if you're a Christian. And probably even Islamic, right? Because Jesus was a prophet, according to Islam, right? It's a big day, big day. Now, I know some of you gentlemen, ladies, people, a little lonely today, maybe. You know, family isn't around. You don't have your mother. You don't have your father, kids. Understand that. But you're not alone, right? You've got Jesus and you've got us. So you're never alone, ever. I know what it's like to be lonely. It's like, oh my God, I wish I had this and that. You do have this and that. You're just not seeing it. Just wipe it out of your eyes, man. It's all around you, you know? I mean, I don't want to get all blue pill simpy here. Love is all around you. Whether you believe it or not, it's true. And always you have the love of Jesus Christ. If nothing else, you have Jesus on your side. That's a pretty big deal. That's like the ultimate deal. You got Jesus in your corner. I mean, that's pretty good. You know, doesn't get much better than that. Anyway, happy Easter. Don't be lonely. You're never lonely. You always have people. And you have the ultimate. You got the Jesus man, right? So red pill on steroids has got a little nature walk. And I thought this would be fun for us. I mean, if you're alone, you're not with your family. I mean, the man down the street, right next to me in the apartment here, right? I get some beer, and his mother and his two sisters are there just waiting to go in. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, that's cool. It's a lucky man. He's got, you know, his family and everything. Are we less lucky? We have each other. We have Jesus. We have God. I think we're just as lucky. Sometimes we just don't see it, or we don't want to see it. That's my take on it. Anyway, red pill on steroids. Go.
He who is unable to live in society, or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself.
Sorry, that's a little loud.
Must be either a beast,
A little bit.
or God.
I got to talk to this man. his volume is low, but we're gonna try anyway.
And it's just been complete hectic. Also maintaining my allotment, growing a lot of food now, guys. I've got a lot growing now. I've got a lot of independent food supplies coming now. I've got my pumpkins down and they're growing. I've got my potatoes. I've got my carrots. I've got my water filtration system. I've got my rainwater collectors all in place, you know, and it's just a beautiful thing now that I'm pretty much self-sufficient almost.
I mean, it's just, you know, not homo here, but yeah, he's a good-looking dude. Yeah, all right.
So I'm down at Bredbury Farm today. You could say, oh, this could be Bredbury Hotel over the road. I don't know what they're building there. Could be a bowling alley or a cricket alley. I don't have a clue, but I am just having a nice Easter Sunday walk.
Yeah, it's great.
Sunday, just enjoying the vibrance of nature, getting out and getting plenty of beautiful sun, something that I don't really get a lot of time to enjoy when you're working all the time. So anyway, that's not why you called today. So what's today's video going to be about? What's today's subject matter going to be?
We're waiting.
Now that I'm in nature, everything's going to be free-flowing. Again, these thoughts, even though scripted, it will be coming.
I mean, doesn't that look nice, though? The English countryside. Well, we have that countryside here in America, don't we? Got a lot more of it, too, right? Go out, smell the breeze, feel the sunshine. It's beautiful, you know. Any day above dirt is a good day. I know some people are pissed off. I get it. Just go outside, go for a hike. Go watch a stream. Listen to it. It's beautiful. The way God intended it to be. Right?
Randomly, as usual, kind of freestyling in between. This is all going to be free-flowing. So anyway, today's video is going to be called about bread and circuses. The bread and circuses for the masses, they need so much of a psychological distraction, don't they? They're so glued to their football matches.
Now, I need to consult Elizabeth Hobson because Elizabeth is a Liverpudlian. I would guess, if I had to, this is Manchester. I'd just say it.
Dumbed down celebrity television,
their
celebrity bake-off, or they need to watch their football.
Or there's, that other stuff. It's a drag show. It's a perfectly fine for children. Okay, let's not get too serious. It's Easter Sunday. Come on. Think about Jesus. Think about your relationship with Jesus or Allah or Buddha or Yahweh, whatever. Think about it. Is there more than this? It's been a big question over thousands of years, hasn't there? Think about it. Pull out your Bible or your Holy Quran or whatever text. Is this all there is? Just this here on earth?
Getting fat and cheesy Doritos, beer and alcohol, while they're not paying attention to the economy and the world going into a financial collapse. All these love and light healers all trying to say, just be positive. We can all get through the apocalypse together if we just meditate and feel in harmony with our emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, the chakras. I'm afraid to many of these love and light channels, it requires a lot more than that.
Yep.
Working through your own healing means that you have to face nihilism, you have to face pessimism, you have to face every kind of limiting belief system and every kind of comfort zone that you are not willing to go down. That's what it means to be awakened. I've always said before that too much light, love and light can make you blind. So in a factual reality, truth comes in the forms of many kind of circumstances and situations that we don't want to face.
The link is in the description, but go ahead. I'm listening intently now.
With trauma, with problems, with warfare, with genocide. We're seeing it all going around the world, aren't we? We're seeing our governments completely destroy our countries. We are seeing the economy going into complete shit. We are seeing so much of our corrupt politicians now taking backhanders, doing insider stock trading with bankers. We're seeing all the money laundering with Ukraine.
The funny thing is, we think we elect a certain brand of politician, left, right, whatever. They're all the same. But again, we're not going to get too political here. Go ahead, RPOS.
Loads of people just don't want to think, and it's even true that many people today, got to say now, are completely too far gone. We've told so many people to prepare. We have told so many people over these last 5 years, screaming out, help, help, we'll help you. But they don't want to be helped. Many people that want to watch their Man United football matches, their Stock County matches, their Man City matches.
Yep.
People that just want to ignore reality and take care of their families.
We'll take care of it later. We don't have to worry about that now. Right? Yeah, it'll just work out. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't.
We'll be getting punished this year. And I'm afraid to say that many people have woken up now that they've taken a medical procedure, which has now poisoned them. And we are now beginning to see the red pilling effects of what's happening now when people make decisions based on emotions, on impulses, out of fear.
Red pill on steroids doesn't want to say it outright, but I think we know what he's talking about, don't we? Don't we? Yeah.
And desperation, they are now beginning to pay the price for that. So Again, bread and circuses. Bread and circuses. Because at the end of the day, the politicians need you distracted by celebrities pushing all these narratives, such as Black Lives Matter, just to keep you distracted from them bringing in their central bank digital currency, their digital slavery system, where legally in the UK will be called peasants, will be called serfs, and that we have to prove that we are of use to the state by complying with all their orders and mandates.
It's not the way freedom is supposed to be. I wonder, do they tell us, oh, there's freedom, America, guns, Bud Light. But yet we're not free, are we? No.
That will be 80% of the people in the UK going into mass poverty. Now,
we're free to do the bidding of the elites. You're free to do that, aren't you?
I've taken many, many steps now to get myself out of the system. I'm very close now to getting out of it completely. Not fully out of it yet, but nearly there now. I'm probably about 75, 80% now. But I'm getting very close now because I'm working tirelessly. I'm learning off loads of smart people. Now, I want to tell you something, guys, right? There's loads of people on YouTube, and YouTube to me now is just a fucking grifting platform. All it is about now, if you want to prepare and learn how to build a community, we're going to charge you to join our Discord and community.
Yeah. Fucking RPOS is right on target. I like it.
Now, I've got a community, my own Discord, Red Pill Prepping community, that we are basically people of all working class backgrounds, middle class, upper middle class, army, ex-military, warehouse workers. It doesn't matter who you are, in the community. That
you're all welcome. Yeah.
Always welcome if you've got ideas. And we have a live stream every kind of Thursday. We talk ideas, we talk about prepping, we share all our goals of what we're doing in our allotments, we share our goals about finance, geopolitical. And I've got some great people on that Discord who are basically, like me, libertarian-minded, want the freedom, want to be left alone from the government, don't want any kind of interference with any kind of narratives like Russia or Ukraine or Black Lives Matter or feminism or socialism. We want to be left alone. So every week we have a good 2-hour.
Yeah, here's the problem though. If you want to be left alone, you're a Nazi. Current year. Crazy, isn't it?
Of how to get out the system, how to prepare geopolitically, how to escape. And no, when we do these roundtables on YouTube or we do it on Discord, we don't charge you $200. We don't charge you $500 just to hear us speak about Austrian economics like loads of these financial channels on YouTube are doing. They're all shills. They're all shills. And
it's all bullshit, basically. It's all bullshit. If there was a magic formula, you'd pay with your life to get that formula. There's nothing like that. It's all speculation and bullshit. To the moon, right? Now, I think RPOS is a big Bitcoin guy. Okay. If you want to put your money into Bitcoin, it's your problem. It's not mine.
In realistic life, I've built the wealth in a good way, many of these financial channels, but when it comes to real life, can they build a house? Can they do joinery? Can they do plumbing? Can they grow food?
No. No is the simple answer.
Outside finance, it requires a lot more than that, than just gold and silver and cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
It's going to involve a lot more than that, because when the financial system goes down, we are going to be going back to a Mad Max kind of scenario. So whether people like it or not, with their normalcy bias or the truth kind of hurts their fifis.
I mean, isn't this nice though? Look at the grass. Look at the trees. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Go for a hike, man. Do that.
This is where we are going. This is where we are going. So yes, if you want to join the Discord community, on the Red Pill Prepping community, just hit the link below and you'll be able to join. We're not going to charge you a membership fee. We're not going to charge you money.
Money. I love the way the what are they called? The Manchesterians. They say money. I'm not going to charge you money.
Come and join our community. This is all about getting the smartest people who we've got and we've got some really smart people. I've got Aero Solutions, who's made an invention.
Okay, well, there's an invention that's coming up. But all right, if you want to see it, I guess we'll keep going. Grass that cannot be smoked. Oh my God, Hemi. Oh, you Canadian bastard from hell.
Aeroponics.
Happy Easter.
Great device, which is a bucket and tubes and battery powered, where it's going to be pumping electrical currents into the vegetation minerals to grow them 20% faster.
Yeah.
Aero Solutions is a great guy, very, very smart. He's based in California.
Yeah, he's got a grow light. I get it, RPO. We're going to fast forward across this because we want to see the nature. Let's do that. Go ahead.
And he's looking to really make something of himself and his business, and it's going to help preppers like us become more off-grid, use less of the resources, use less fertilizer, grow our foods faster, better quality seeds. Because I did a lot of research into aeroponics, and you can grow you can grow like tomatoes and peppers from seed directly in these little containers, these little capsule containers in the aeroponic devices, which you'll see on the screen here. But
right.
View, but
aeroponic. I know Undead Chronic enjoys. That's where you grow the kush. The kush. Let's see. Mouth agape agape says what? They can't figure out the 7 secret spices. I know. You're evil. Who 346? Hello. Happy Easter to you. The love of Jesus Christ is in the air right now. All right, go ahead. Whoa. Don't yeet myself. I don't want to yeet myself. Go ahead.
Aero Solutions, great guy. And he's another guy on the prepping community. So he's got a lot going for himself, and he's going to really make it.
Yeah, what I really like about England is this barn here and this shed have probably been around for 1,500 years. Oh, it's beautiful. And Adrian's wall. My name's Adrian. I got a wall. Adrian's wall. It's wonderful. So much history in England. I love it.
Guy's very bright. So we got loads of people on the prepping Discord that are gold and silver crypto investors, preppers, grow their own food, combat, self-defense.
Yeah.
They do all of it, and these people aren't going to come out on YouTube and charge you a fee just to learn that, to make income off people that basically wages are dropping, wages are collapsing, Anybody can sell a financial course. Anybody can tell you after in economics. Anybody can host events telling you the same recycled information that you'll find on the internet or through books. It's just a big platform for just shilling now on YouTube, rather than genuinely helping the fellow man. But anyway, I'm not trying to sound too altruistic, but you know who these shills and charlatans are in the love and light communities, and even in the financial communities. It's all about selling the doom, but then profiting at your expense. Take as much money off you as you can so that they can fatten the coffers and then head off into the sunset when it all collapses.
Yeah. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Oh, look at that. We've got planes. What are they doing, Beryl? Oh, they're putting more chemtrails, blocking out the sky so that they can stop us getting vitamin D and enjoying life. These reptilian hybrids, these elites, these aristocrats, they hate mankind, don't they? We're looking to try and cut freedom off at the ball sack.
How does he do that?
Anyway,
I mean, he must have a control on the thing because the camera just boom. Have to look into that.
So anyway, regarding the topic about bread and circuses, as you know, with bread and circuses back in ancient Roman times, many of the Caesars back then would use the Colosseums, the gladiator games to basically distract the population from the fact that the Roman Empire was collapsing. They put many Christians in circuses with their gladiators being killed by animals,
Eaten by lions and shit, killed
by animals. Some of them are pitted against gladiators, made to fight and kill each other. In this time at the end of bread and circuses, we've got just basically dumbed down entertainment, and we've got basically people that are just completely brainwashed, mind-controlled NPCs. They just don't want to learn. They don't want to wake up. They are like the proverbial frog burning in the cup.
They prefer not to wake up. I would say it's easier to not know really what's going on.
Spending in the pantry to say, slowly now, and as many of them are beginning to realise that the cost of living is beginning to shoot through the roof.
Is Frankie here? Hey, Frank, there's your hedgerow. Don't be alarmed now. Boom, boom, boom. There's still time to change the road you're on.
About this 4 years ago, back to them to get prepared, to get organised, to get the mindset right. A lot of people haven't done this, have they really? They've not done any of this whatsoever. So for many people who've got large families, kids who've not stocked up on food while it was cheap, not stocked up on the security, not stocked up financially with gold and silver,
right?
These people are going to think that, oh, if there's a food shortage or there's going to be a collapse in the economy, we'll come round to your house and we'll basically parasite off you. Now, a lot of these people that claim to be in the freedom movement, the truth movement, have failed to prepare because they seem to think, oh, it's strength in numbers, strength in numbers. We are the 99%, yeah. But why is it that the 1% control all the resources? Because you don't want to learn about financial history, you don't want to learn about economics, you don't want to learn about being self-sufficient. You want to rely on all the same corporate food chains that are breaking down by the elites. You still want to use their crappy fiat currency and it's going to zero.
Well, he has a point, doesn't he?
You still think that working for status in this economy is what makes you successful, when status is an illusion. It's there to keep you imprisoned. You go to school, you get a job,
yep.
You become a debt slave, get married, you take on kids, you get more debt, you get a bigger house, you got to pay for student loans for your children, you've got a 30-year mortgage, and you've got to hope to God that the economy doesn't collapse. Otherwise, you lose all that legacy wealth you built up in the economy, and yet people still don't want to know because finance is so boring. I just want to learn about memes and
I just want to learn about Kim Kardashian. Right?
About the vaccines. This is only one point. You know, I've said many a times that it's just about controlled demolition of the economy. It's all controlled demolition, and yet the sheeple, even the sheeple are amongst the purebloods. The people that are so-called awakened haven't gone down the rabbit hole further enough. And now they're panicking now. They seem to think, I'm going on this protest in Bradford, right? And this protest is going to be in Yorkshire. So I'll be going up to Bradford. And I'll be watching all the public speakers, people with placards. They seem to think that being in a group, protesting, is going to really make a big difference. Now, I do agree it's a big moral booster. It helps people stay on the right path of freedom and liberty.
Right.
But what these people don't understand is that the 1% that control nearly all the global population through the banking, through the food supplies, can basically shut down the banks, shut down the supermarkets. And then what happens with that? We are the 99% crowd of protesters will then turn on each other. You see, I've always said this from the primal mind, that your nicest neighbour, your most friendly, outgoing neighbour, are 5 meals away from complete anarchy. It doesn't matter what religion you are, what kind of spiritual principles you are, when you're starving and you need to feed your children and they are in the poverty line, the human mind, the human tendency, when all options of sustainability and being self-sufficient and being able to provide for one's family always reverts back to the primal mind. Primal mind basically means that they will basically throw each other under the bus, they will kill their neighbours, they will kill their friends and families just to take care of their own families. And that's what always happens, even in 1920 now, when people fail to prepare. Again, it's not about the vaccines. The vaccines were basically a psyop. The psyop is basically going down the rabbit hole. Learning that we're going to a new economic system now of the
here we go, Frank. Hey, Frankie.
Central bank digital currencies, and people fail to realise that learning from the Great Depression, Now, when people seem to think that I've always had my McDonald's, I've always had my clothes, I've always been able to go on holidays, I've always been able to actually meet up with my families, this is going to change. It's going to change because what's going to happen is if you sheeple still on the internet, even still staying quiet about it, don't want to speak up, but rather support the movements. I'll tell you one thing what's going to happen, right? 1929, look at it. We had a Great Depression nearly 100 years ago back, right?
Yep.
1929, right?
Yep.
Wall Street caused a complete economic stock market. That left the country in America, right, bankrupt, right, for nearly 10 years in a Great Depression because they went off the gold standard, right? And because America at that time went insolvent, they had a massive collapse in the agricultural industry, they had a massive collapse in the banking industry, but people rioted in the streets, they turned on the congressmen and governments, and people had to flee.
The Hoover Towns. Veterans of World War One. By the way, if you didn't know that, these guys came back and they fought in the war, and they came back and said, "Hey, where's our fucking money? Our money?" You know what happened to those people, right? You think the government is on your side? You think the government is there for you? Are you that delusional? No. Hoover Towns were swept up by the government. They didn't want it, that problem. You know what I'm saying?
There was poverty for over a decade. Many fathers couldn't provide for their children or their families because there was no money, there was no currency. You know, flour, eggs, milk, bread, cheese, butter was all scarce. Because the whole goal of the elites is basically to move everybody from the rural areas, as they did with the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, 19th century, hollow out men and women's ability to be self-sufficient, to grow their own food, to make their own clothes, to build their own houses. They got everybody dependent on factory jobs. And so when the Federal Reserve came into initiation in 1913, they took America off the gold standard, well, not completely, but they started the concept of fractional reserve banking, printing money out of nothing. And then when America got too much into that, they had to go to war in the First and Second World War because, face it, they couldn't actually afford to keep the economy going, so they had to have a war and kill the population off. And again, we're saying the same thing again with this bread and circuses. Is that what we're seeing now? Is that this is going to be worse than the Great Depression, because the Great Depression wasn't like it's going to be a picnic compared to what's going to happen, because globally, you know, this whole COVID thing was basically controlled demolition. We saw in 2020.
What are you doing to me? You're trying to get me banned. Just kidding. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
That the government went insolvent. We saw that the Federal Reserve went insolvent. The Bank of England went completely bust. And so the furlough money had to be created out of printing money from the future of our sons and daughters who were like 4 and 5, so that they wouldn't have a future. So they had to take money from the future to pay people not to revolt. And that's how it was created, this COVID narrative. So going further into the rabbit hole.
What's interesting is if you're depending on the past to finance the future, do you wonder why the government is concerned about the birth rate? Happy Easter. No, it's everything's fine. Everything is fine.
It's like I'm a bit scattered today, so you can see me rambling today. But anyway, regarding the media and regarding the war with Russia and Ukraine. So anyway, let's look at Ukraine. Now, Ukraine, out of 180 countries, is 140th most corrupt country in the world. It's the most corrupt country in all of Europe, Ukraine. Now, Ukraine's been getting a lot of help, a lot of support from Biden, the Biden administration. Now, American Reserve, you know, they're involved with money laundering. You know, they borrowed $53 billion or giving 53 billion to Ukraine so that many Americans who are struggling with the cost of crisis,
Yes.
goods and services, paying the rents, supporting the families. America, the Biden administration, supported Ukraine, 53 billion, and many Americans now who are earning six-figure incomes are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, it's because Biden doesn't give a shit about America. I'm sorry, what?
And their extreme debt. Now,
He doesn't care. Shut up.
America's credit card debt is probably near about $1 trillion.
It's probably about 10 trillion, but okay.
In debt because people can't afford to buy food with the wages because the wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living. And so we see with Russia and Ukraine, with America supporting Ukraine, that Zelensky, he's a corrupt politician, Ukraine is the most corrupt country in all of Europe. And that Zelensky president has offshore accounts, and he's been using his offshore.
Excuse me, what was that? No donkeys? What was that?
Goods and services, paying the rent,
Okay.
supporting the families.
Yep.
America, the Biden administration, supported Ukraine, 53 billion, and many Americans now who are earning six-figure incomes.
I mean, fuck Americans. Let's give all our money over to Ukraine. What do you say? Doesn't that sound like a good idea? No. No, it doesn't.
Paycheck and their extreme debt. Now, America's credit card debt is probably near about $1 trillion in debt because people can't afford to buy food with the wages because the wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living. And so we see with Russia and Ukraine, with America supporting Ukraine, that Zelensky, he's a corrupt politician, Ukraine is the most corrupt country in all.
They are all corrupt. Sorry. Go ahead.
Of Europe. And that
They're all fucking scumbags. Just saying.
The Zelensky president has offshore accounts.
No donkeys. There's no donkeys allowed here. Give me the money.
And he's been using his offshore companies to buy up property in London. Oh, now why didn't people do that research? So Zelensky has property in London. He buys it up.
Imagine that.
Offshores it. And isn't it funny how a president who was a comedian all of a sudden now has a net worth of over $30 million, euro.
They're all corrupt. They're all trying to fuck us. And we put on our masks and say, fuck me. Yes, just lube it up a little bit. Just put some lube in there. This is the shit that's going on. It's not lying. This guy's all over this stuff. They're all fucked up. And yet we keep electing these fuckers and basically saying, don't use sandpaper on your dick while you're fucking me up the ass.
Those are pounds, you could say. One of the most corrupt people in the world, Zelensky. So, even though America says they're going to give all this aid to Ukraine, they're going to help the people, they're going to help the poor. No, they're not, because the 53 million that America's given, the Biden administration, has given to Ukraine, stolen by the oligarchs in Ukraine,
of course,
the military, the corrupt politicians for their corruption campaign.
They're probably paying Putin to not bomb them so much. I mean, this goes deep, bro. This goes deep.
So it doesn't go to the people. So when you see all these
it never goes to the people. It never, ever goes to the people. Ever. We get some transport planes. We put on some food. Tons of food to bring over to some place. Never goes to the people who are starving to death. It goes to the oligarchs. We know this, don't we? Yeah.
Or even on any kind of social media saying, donate to Ukraine. The money doesn't go to Ukrainian people who really need it.
Nope.
Who are caught up in this war with Russia and Ukraine, backed by both sides of the central banks. No. It goes to the corrupt political establishment who are basically stripping the citizens
always
of their
always
and their livelihoods. And many people don't want to be caught up in this war with Ukraine whatsoever. So again, you can see that Ukraine, again, they've had 13.6 million.
Was that a Scottish guy?
So when you see all these like
oh, those Scots get all crazy.
Or Facebook or Instagram or even any kind of social media saying donate to Ukraine, the money doesn't go to Ukrainian people who really need it, who are caught up in this war with Russia and Ukraine, backed by both sides of the central banks. No, it goes to the corrupt police establishment who are basically stripping the citizens of their wealth and their livelihoods. And many people don't want to be caught up in this war with Ukraine whatsoever. So again, you can.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a Scot. Hey, I'm from Edinburgh. I just want Scotland.
See that Ukraine again.
Whatever, like
they've had 13.6 million in donations from Europeans, and even Britain's donated. And we've got a cost of living crisis, but we're donating to Ukraine to.
Yeah. Here we have we have people in England, Britain, don't have a place to live, but let's give the money somewhere else. Do these people not fucking care about you? No. They're playing political games. They're playing politics. Think of it as some board game where you're moving pieces all over the world. I don't care about you. You're just a goddamn slave. Give me your taxes. I don't care about the people. Now, when you get to this point where people, the majority know our politicians are not doing things for the people, do you know how that works out? It's not a pleasant thing. I'm not advocating for it. I'm saying history tells us,
Zelensky, because they want to furnish this war when basically all it is a massive money laundering scheme. So if I put this video out on YouTube, it'll probably get censored or it'll be taken down. But hey, what can I say? This is all about the bread and circuses. People put the Ukrainian flags, but they don't understand what's going through. They don't understand the whole concept of
keep their eyes away from what's really important. Mr. RPOS, keep their eyes on something else. That's the way the game is played. Keep them away from what we're really doing. It's been that way for a million zillion years, and it's happening today. Now, when the people figure out what the fuck is going on, it's probably not going to be a good day. It's not going to be a good time for anyone. All right. Undead Chronic. Live stream last night with the hamster. Today, in 2 hours, 3 hours, Hammer Hand. He's going to roast the cunts because that's the way he does. Sunday sermon, 6:20 Central Time, 7:20 Eastern Time. I will see you later. Link in the description for RPOS. He's saying some good words. People need to hear it, but nobody will. I'm too happy with my American Idol and my nobody cares. They have dumbed down enough of the population to fucking win. Isn't that scary? Goddamn right it is. Now what? Now what?